What is up, guys? Coming at you from San Diego, California, your commish here, and welcome to the inaugural Race for the Dungy Draft Lottery. I've been talking this up for about a year that I was going to do this, so with 6 days until the draft, 5 days, finally got around to it. So here is how things are going to work. Also, so if you're watching this video, you've already seen the draft order. The purpose of this video is to prove that nothing fishy is going on behind the scenes on my end. I hope you already consider me a very honorable commissioner who would never tamper with something as sacred as a draft lottery, which is very important to the league this year. And this video will be proof of how I went about this lottery and how it all went down. So by the time you're watching this, you already know the draft order. I have no idea how long this video will go. I don't know how entertaining it will be, but if you are questioning my integrity, this will be proof that nothing went on. So this is how it's going to work. The main lottery is just for the first 6 picks of the first round. So that's all the teams that played in the Sacco bracket a year ago. One thing to report there is that I forgot this until now, but I actually traded away my first round pick to one damn bullet last year to get Odell Beckham Jr. And I'm kind of regretting it in the moment, but my keepers are kind of dirty, so we'll see how that turns out. But yes, Dan owns my pick in the first round, which means he, not I, has the second best odds at the top pick because I was Sacco runner-up last year. So just running through those teams real quickly, we got Brendan was our Sacco. Disappointing. He has the best odds. Dan has the second best odds at the top pick. Nate and Scud were both semifinalists, so they are tied there. And Josh and Kevin made a Sacco appearance last year, so they have the worst odds at the top pick. And this is how I'm going to do the selections. I'll turn the camera around when it's time for it, but I have random number generator opened up on Google. And this is what we're going to do. So doing the math, there will be a range of 23 numbers. And that corresponds to Brendan owning one of those numbers, Dan owning 2. So it would be like Brendan has number 1, Dan has 2 to 3. And then Nate and Scud will each have 4 numbers in that range. And Josh and Kevin will each have 6 numbers in that range. So what I'm going to do is start with the 6th pick and go up to the 1st overall. So you don't want your number to be selected. So if you're seeing how the odds work out, Brendan only owning 1 number has the best odds at his number not getting randomly chosen. And the guys with 6 numbers in that range are unlikely to get the top pick. So that is how I will be doing this lottery for those. One other thing I want to do, this lottery actually has a bonus component. And that's for everyone who finished in the same position, like both teams that were semifinalists or both teams that were Sacco semifinalists. We have to determine who actually picks first in the draft other than round 1 throughout the whole thing. So I'm going to do a lottery it'll be 4 quick lotteries to break ties between those who finished in the same spot for who will actually pick first throughout the entire draft. If that makes sense. So I'm actually going to start with that. And yeah, let me get my camera set up. We're already 4 minutes in, so I feel like this could be a long video, boys. But like I said, this is for you to prove that nothing is going on here. So, first up, we had a tie, or our 2 semifinalists are Nick and Jude. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up this random number generator. I've got the numbers 1 to 10 open here. Here's the number that's actually being randomized. If you see that, it's a 9 right now. So numbers 1 to 10, and I'm going to hit generate 3 times. I'm going to do that every time we need a random number. I'll hit it 3 times, and if the number's odd, it'll go to Nick, and if it's even, it'll go to Jude. So that's what I'll be doing for these 4, and this actually does have some importance. One will be picking in front of the other the entire draft, so let's get it started. So first, Nick odd numbers, Jude even numbers. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. The number is 1, which means Nick will pick ahead of Jude. So I'm going to enter that in quickly. And yeah, now that I've got all this explanation out of the way, I'm going to try to move quickly through this. But yes, Nick will have the number 9 pick, and Jude will have the number 10 pick in the draft. So moving on to the two teams that made an appearance in the playoffs but didn't do anything with it, that's Bobby and Carter. So Bobby will be odd numbers, Carter will be even numbers. So there's some glare here. Okay. There's 1, stayed on number 1, 2, 3, odd number. So because that is odd, let me make sure, Bobby will pick before Carter. So Bobby has the number 7th overall pick in the draft, and Carter number 8. So moving on to the two teams that were in the Sacco. So this isn't deciding the first round, because that'll be the lottery that we get to in a bit. But this will just decide who has the 5th pick and who has the 6th pick the rest of the night. So that is between Josh and Kevin. Josh will be odd, Kev will be even. So if I get to the random number here, so 1, 2, 3. That's an even number, number 2, as you can see. So that means that Kevin will be picking in the 5th spot, and Josh will be picking 6th in every round other than the first round, unless that's how the actual lottery turns out. I think you guys get it by now. Okay, so let's keep moving through this. Finally, our two Sacco semifinalists, Nate and Kev. Nate will be odd numbers, Nate and Scud. Scud will be even, Nate will be odd. So 1, stayed on 2, 2, 3. Number 7. So odd goes to Nate. Nate will be picking 3rd, and Scud will be picking 4th. Let me enter that in. So that leaves 4 teams that already had their position decided because they weren't tied with anyone at the end of the season. So we know Bless is picking last because he is our champion, unfortunately. Bullet was runner-up, so he picks 11th. And I have the 2nd pick in every round other than the 1st, and Brendan does have the 1st pick in all other rounds. So let's get to the main event, our draft lottery. Like I said, I'm going to do random numbers of 1 to 23. And based on what we got up here, I'm going to, just so it's established, Brendan is number 1. It's Dan. Dan is numbers 2 and 3. That leaves Nate to be numbers 4, 5, 6, 7. Scud will be 8, 9, 10, 11. And then for the remaining 6, Kevin will have numbers 12 through 17. And then Josh will have numbers 8 through 23. So let's get to it. Those ranges will adjust as we go. I'll try to keep this all straight and not make any mistakes and have to do this all over again. So 1 to 23. I'm going to generate this 3 times, and whatever number that lands on, that range will be the 6th overall pick in the draft. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's number 7, which falls in Nate's range of 4 to 7. So Nate will be the 6th overall pick in the draft for the first round. Unfortunate for you there. Tough blow to the franchise. So adjusting that range, everyone will move up a bit, which leaves Scud taking over the 4 to 7 range. And Kevin and Josh will each both move up 4 numbers because Nate's 4-number range is out of the picture now, which means the numbers will be 1 to 19. And that leaves Josh with numbers 13 through 19, and Kev will be picking, Josh is 14 to 19, Kev is 8 to 13, and Scud will be the range 4 to 7 for this randomization. Dan's still 2 and 3, and Brendan's still number 1. So here we go for the 5th overall pick. 1, 2, 3. Number 7 again. So that is in Scud's range. Scud will pick 5th. So neither of the two, so both Kevin and Josh should be pretty happy already that they've beat their odds. And Brendan and Dan are still in position to get those top 2 picks, as it was supposed to be theoretically going into it. So moving on to the fourth pick, adjusting the range, it'll be 1 to 15. The top two are still the same. Kev owns numbers 4 through 9, and Josh will be 10 through 15 as we generate here. So for the fourth overall pick, 1, 2, 3. Number 3. So Dan Bullitt will pick 4th overall, and that leaves both Kevin and Josh with 6 numbers available with a shot at the number 1 overall pick, and Brendan will be the heavy favorite to get this, as with the new range of 1 to 13, Brendan, if it's a number 1, Brendan will pick then, but Kevin, if the number lands between 2 and 7, he'll pick, and 8 to 13, it will be Josh in the 3rd spot. So here we go. Number 3 overall pick, 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And a number 3 comes out, so that is Kevin, who will be picking 3rd. And now, against all odds, it is Josh with a chance at the number 1 overall pick, and Brendan looking to hold on and win the lottery, which he was favorited for. The range is only 1 to 7. If it's a number 1, if a number 1 comes out here, then Josh has stolen the top pick against all odds. If it is numbers 2 through 7, then Brendan will hold on and take the top pick. This looks a little fuzzy. There we go. All right. So for the number 1 overall pick in the draft, here we go. 3 times. 1, 2, 3. It is a number 2, just 1 away from Josh stealing it all. But that will do it for this draft lottery. Like I said, if you even made it this far, you must really question my integrity as a commissioner, but at the same time, that will do it. So, first inaugural draft lottery is in the books. This is something I wanted to do because it adds a little bit extra to the league, though that wasn't the most exciting lottery until I post. Everyone's on the edge of their seats for these results. So here we go. One more time through the top 6. We got Brendan, who was our Sacco, holding on to the 1st overall pick. Josh surprisingly shoots up to 2nd overall from not having a great chance at it. Kevin finishes 3rd, also didn't have a great chance at the top pick. And then Dan 4th, and Scud and Nate didn't have a good lottery. This will be a night to forget for them, but Scud comes in at 5th and Nate in 6th. So without further ado, I guess league news, I'm just finalizing CBS to get it set up. Now that it's our 2nd year of the keepers on there, at least with me as commish, it's much easier to do everything. They saved all our settings. Everyone's team is still on there. I think if you log on, you'll see it. You can change your names how you want if you desire. And yeah, I think I have a few days to get the league bought so that we still have a discounted price. So once I do that, I'll tally it up and get the dues requested. I guess I'm not sure if we've decided on what we want the buy-in to be so that the winner can get maximum money. We can discuss that the rest of the week before the draft. And then once the draft's over, I do have all the keepers entered in here, so I'll get all that set up. We'll be ready to go. Once the draft's over, I guess the last order of business is randomizing the divisions as I did last year. That's always good fun. See who your rivals are for this season. And yeah, so I think that'll do it. Talk to you boys Saturday, though I won't be there. I wish I could. And let's go. Welcome to 2018. Let's have a hell of a fantasy season.